Hello everyone, I am back to update you on where I stand on the Popsugar reading challenge. I have just completed my second book for the 40 prompts. This was one of the shortest books I've read. It took me, I think, about 4 hours, but let me take a step back and tell you that the prompt I worked on was a book by or about a person with a disability. This was one of the harder prompts for me. Unlike the first book, I wasn't sure what to read. I hadn't heard of any bestsellers or recent books that were out on the market. I know some of you are going to go, well, you should read me before you. Well, I have. So I didn't want to go back and reread a book. I wanted to find something new. So instead, I went to goodreads.com where other people who are taking the same challenge leave suggestions on books, and I picked The Reason I Jump, The Inner Voice of a 13-Year-Old Boy with Autism by Naoki Higashida. This was really unlike any book I've ever read before. It was not in regular book form. It was in question answer. So the boy was given questions and he responded. But what's so special and unique about this book is the fact that the kind of autism he has does not lend him to respond very well in this written form. So they came up with a code for him to be able to respond to these questions. And that just blew my mind. At the beginning of chapter 1, they actually show you just a little piece, what I believe is just a little piece, of the code that they used for it. So I thought that was really, really neat and special. A lot of you might not know, but I go to a church that has an autistic school there. Personally, I don't know many people who have autism. I don't know a lot about it. I think I've known 2 kids who have it, but I don't know many people. I could maybe know more because autism is a wide spectrum. You know, somebody on the other end of it could have, say, Asperger's, and that one's hard to detect. So I could know more people than I think I do, but I don't know. I don't think I know many people who have it. So as I was reading, I took notes on what jumped out at me. The first being that the reason they talk loud is actually a reflex for them. They can't really stop it. And he explained that when he does try and stop it, that it physically hurts his body. He compared it to being choked. So I thought that was pretty interesting to know. Yeah. What got me through the whole book really though was how riddled he is with anxiety all the time. I don't know, since there is such a wide range of autism, I don't know if it's just him or the kind he has or what it is, but he himself was full of anxiety, not feeling very comfortable in his surroundings. He talked about how the world doesn't want him or his kind, and it really broke my heart. I can't imagine living a life where you feel that you shouldn't even be here. Then he talks about how their thought patterns don't really run on a normal timetable like ours do. When we think of our memories, or as we go through life, we put our memories on a timeline. We know what an hour is. We know what 24 hours is. You know, we know what a year is, but his mind does not work like that. So his memories are very scattered. So say you asked him a question, you know, he has to find that in his memory. So something that happened maybe years ago could feel like yesterday. So he explained that that's sometimes why he has so much trouble communicating with people. Talking can also be hard for them. He compared it to speaking in an unknown foreign language every single minute of every single day. Myself, I have trouble understanding heavy accents, and I work in the construction industry, so I hear a lot of Hispanic accents, a lot of English British accents, and there's one guy who I work with who has a Scottish accent. And since I answer phones, the minute I hear a heavy accent, I kind of panic a little bit because I don't want to be that person who's rude and asks them to repeat themselves a million times over. So to put that into perspective, you know, how I feel in that few minutes that I have to talk to someone who has a thick accent, to how he feels communicating throughout a whole day, it just blows my mind how hard it is for them to communicate. I don't want to talk too much more about what's in the book because I want you to pick it up and enjoy it. It's very informative, very neat that you get to hear the inner thoughts of someone who has this disability. So it will be easier to read by those who like nonfiction just because of the format it's in, but it's really good. Please pick it up. There were 2 drawbacks to the book for me, and the first one is that the questions that were asked were sometimes repetitive, but because they asked it in, you know, different forms, they were able to get different responses, so that did save it for me in the long run. And the second one was, he wrote these words, us people who have autism, quite a few times, but other than those 2 things, there's really no reason for anyone not to want to read this book. So I'm going to give this book a 3 out of 5. Part of me feels a little bad for giving it a half point off from the last book because it's important and it means a lot. So I felt a little bad about it, but the reason and the only reason I'm doing that is because of the format it was in. Again, it's not regular book form, but it's question answer, and that kind of threw me off. I kind of think it's like a pamphlet form when you get, especially like doctor's information, it's in the question answer form. So it threw me off a little bit, and that's why I'm giving it the rating that I did. So I'm currently listening to the audiobook I spoke on last time, and I have picked up one more book that I'm hoping to get to this weekend. But until next time, let me know if, you know, you're gonna pick it up or if you're interested in reading it now. Maybe you have a book that's like it that you think I should pick up and read. But other than that, I ask that you like my video if you liked it. Share it maybe if you know somebody who'd be interested in reading this book. But until next time, I hope you all keep on reading.